You're watching Ride Like a Local with Belt Drive Betty. On May 6, 2008, Corporal Michael Starker, medic with the 15th Field Ambulance Regiment, became the 83rd Canadian soldier to die in Afghanistan. Michael Starker was also a Calgary City paramedic, a married man, and a founding member of Veterans Canada MC. In this episode of Ride Like a Local, we meet members of his club and find out a little bit about Corporal Michael Starker from their perspective. I'm being joined right now by members of the Veterans Canada MC. We're getting ready for the Corporal Michael Starker Poker Run. It'll be the 9th annual. Fozzie, tell me a little bit about Mikey, what this run means to you and your club.
The Corporal Michael Starker run is very poignant for us because Mike was a founder member of the club. And I actually wasn't here. I didn't know him, but I heard about his death when I was part of the Veterans MC in the Netherlands, and I posted on the page and gave my condolences. And then when I came across here, I just saw how well the club was going, and the thing is that it's the community that gets together for Mike on this run, and that's the good thing, and keeping on his legacy of his name and who he was, and because he was a founding member of the club, it's important that we remind people that people did actually sacrifice more than Facebook or more than social media when they go out there. And when I heard the story of how he actually died and what he was doing when he passed away, he was a true veteran.
Well, and the thing a lot of people don't realize about Mikey was he was a paramedic in the city of Calgary. He was a paramedic in the reserves. He died doing his job in Afghanistan, protecting and working to help save the lives of other soldiers. And he was a husband and a friend and just an all-around great man.
Married life in the military is very, very hard because the guys get posted for 6 months or detached for 6-8 months at a time. They come back, they do training, then they get deployed again, and the family is the thing that the guys come back to. But when that is taken away, it's very hard for them to cope with it, because I mean their whole life has just ended in the military in that sense, and I wish there was actually more that the military could do for the families.
I couldn't agree more. Just Joe, how are you?
I'm doing great.
How long have you been a member of the club?
2 years now. Yeah.
So you didn't know Mike?
I knew Mike. I was actually overseas at the same time when Mike was killed. We were on the same tour together. I didn't know him as a brother as I do now, but I knew him as a medic. When we heard news of his death, it hit home because he was from Calgary, and our whole platoon was from Calgary, and one of our guys from our platoon was one of his best friends, and we just saw it hit home pretty hard. We actually were the guys who went out to recover his vehicle and his body afterwards. So yeah, we saw the aftermath of the situation.
So today's run, the money raised goes to support what?
Veterans funds. We're gathering food as well for the Veterans Food Bank. And every year we do a different veterans charity. This year, the money's going to go again, the money goes to a good cause, and that is to help the veterans that are out there that need help.
And sadly, no matter how much our government attempts to do, and they try, you got to give them kudos for trying. The one thing they fail at miserably is teaching a veteran how to become a civilian again. And it's only through community and remembrance that you guys actually do start to integrate and become not just warriors, but civilians as well.
The transition into civilian life is very difficult. I had to do it, but and there is the stigmatism that's out there that we're veterans, they're civilians, and I know that civilians or civvies do get hurt by us turning around and say, oh, they're just a civvy. They don't understand. And unfortunately, they just have to live with that because we know our sense of humor, we know how it is, but having to deal with that in a work situation puts so much stress on the veteran themselves because they don't know how to act. They may do something which is wrong, which to another military person, either think it's funny or that they accept it and that's how it is, but they just don't know how to take the military sense of humor or the also the need to be good at what you do in your job and know that people rely on you.
And I think that that's one thing that events like this really give a person is that sense of community, a place where they can belong, where that brotherhood, that sisterhood gets extended out and helps keep your brain from melting down.
Absolutely. In 2012, I was diagnosed with PTSD, and from my tours in Afghanistan, when I started hanging around the club, once I started getting involved, I noticed my symptoms just completely decreasing. And, we come here, we'll be here on Friday nights for our open nights, and the brothers are here. And it's not like we need to talk about what has happened in the past or, what we've done. It's just to be in that presence with other veterans with a common bond. And you feel at home here. Like I feel at home here. This is my second home, and I love my brothers, and the support I've had from them, and a lot of it is very indirect. It's not somebody you don't have to swell up and have a night an episode, and your brothers are there, but they are. And it's just amazing how much support you get from your brothers. And a lot of it is indirect, but just to know that they're there is just absolutely phenomenal. And it's helped me, like my symptoms have completely decreased. They're almost non-existent now. And, I come here, I know I'm in beautiful company. My wife comes and, she feels absolutely at home, and my brothers take care of her, they take care of me, and we do the same.
As a civilian with PTSD and being a PMQ brat, I kind of have a little bit of experience with both sides of this coin. And for me, one of the most eye-opening things about PTSD, mine was caused by a car crash. When I was at the Wounded Warriors weekend in Slave Lake, I came to understand that it doesn't matter where your PTSD comes from. The havoc it wreaks in people's lives is all the same. Because for the very first time as a civilian, I went downstairs at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was still smoking then, and I went outside to have a cigarette and a cup of coffee, and I'm like, oh, there's 30 other people. I feel at home. I feel understood. And so I can imagine that you add the layer of being a warrior to that, just how much peace of mind that gives a person.
Absolutely, yeah. That's exactly what it is in a nutshell.
The Spark Business Incubator is located in 214 Place and run by Community Futures Grand Prairie and Region. It can provide a new or expanding business with the supports to be successful. www.gpsparkincubator.ca. Voted as Canada's most rider-friendly community of the 2016 riding season is Port Alberni, British Columbia, home to one of the longest-running toy runs in Canada, the Port Alberni Toy Run. Bordered on the east by the Beaufort Mountains and on the west by the Pacific Ocean, the Vancouver Island Riders' Paradise, Port Alberni, is Canada's most rider-friendly community. Visit www.portalberni.ca to find out more.